Sup Minecrafters, SirRobHiFi here. I've got something I think is a little bit special to share with you today, and the subject is mob spawning. I've had to think about this a lot, and mob spawning in the nether is especially difficult because pigmen, ghasts and magma cubes don't care about light levels. Now, I learnt something recently from watching a JL2579 video where they were showing their rail system in the nether, and I've mentioned this in a previous video. They said that as long as there's no air blocks parallel for 20 blocks on either side of the rail, nothing would spawn, right? So where that rail is, a mob could normally spawn right here, even if there's a rail on top of the block. But because this block is not an air block, and so's this, all the way out, 20 blocks out, nothing can spawn on the rails. So that was a fantastic little nugget of information I didn't know about. And I'm revisiting it here because I was thinking about it. I was thinking, there's a lot of applications that you could use that for. You could use it in the overworld too, because you build your base and you've got some landscape and it looks kind of cool, but you don't necessarily want to put lighting systems out on your grass and, in your fields and all over the place, because it gets a little bit unsightly. Sometimes you want to leave an area looking a little bit more natural. So I decided to get a little bit creative, and this is an example of what you can do even in the nether. This entire area is spawn proof. Nothing can spawn here. Now, I do have torches and glowstone and stuff, but that's because the light level is so low in the nether that grass just pops out of the ground and flowers and stuff. So here's some examples, right? You've got a railway track and you want to suppress spawning around your railway track in the nether. And Doc M just did a video where he built a railway, a new connecting line out to his mushroom island, right? So there's a whole bunch of ideas here that he could use, you could use, and you can really get creative with this. So let's have a look at some of the examples. You've got, first of all, your tracks, right? And that means that I need to put 20 blocks in that direction of non-air blocks and the same on that side. So there's lots of different things you can use. Basically anything that is not an air block is fine, right? But there are some exceptions. I can get away with putting ice here because mobs can't spawn on ice anyway. It's a non-spawnable block. So I can get away with that. I can get away with glowstone because the same reason it's considered a glass block, the same properties of glass, and mobs can't spawn on it regardless of light levels. So even in the nether, pigmen, magma cubes, ghasts cannot spawn on glowstone blocks. Glowstone lamps, they can, so you can't use those. Now we've got bone meal, and you can simply have a whole field of grass, spam it with bone meal so that every block has got grass or flowers, and you're done. You could leave it at that, or you could go to town, right? So we've got leaf blocks, mobs can't spawn on those either. We've got vines. You see this space here, you get a vine out. This is now an air block, but if I put a vine on the side of this leaf block, that is no longer an air block because there's a vine, right? So if you're following me, you can see how much you can get away with These blocks would normally be air blocks, and this one I'm not 100% sure on, but I haven't seen any mob spawn yet. These paintings are occupying the space, and it's no longer an air block because there's paintings in this block, in this space. You've got iron bars. Mobs can't spawn on the top of those. That's why those are safe. Half blocks. Wheat. You can grow trees because, again, mobs can't spawn on leaves. So as long as there's no exposed wood block up top, you're fine. Let's see what else we got. You can use torches, pressure plates, fences, fence gate, and in this case it doesn't matter if it's open or closed, as long as, like I said, no air blocks within 20 blocks either side of this, so that's safe even if it's open. And what else have we got? We got some mushrooms thrown in there. You cannot use giant mushrooms because mobs can spawn on the top of them, so those are out unless you put something like half slabs on top of the mushrooms. You could put down a sandy area as long as you use some of these dead shrubs. You can grow cacti. Mobs can't spawn on those. And as long as you are level with this block the track is taking up, not the block it's on, but the space above is occupied by track, and as long as everything else is not air blocks, I know I'm repeating myself, but you're safe. You could even build a little house, you know. Mobs can't spawn on stairs. There's half blocks on the top. Inside of here, that is a full block, but there's a door occupying the airspace, so that's good. This is all upside down half slabs on the floor. And what else have we got? I think that's about it. Yeah, vines, once they grow down to the ground, if I wanted to, let's see, it's occupying, it will occupy this space if I let it grow one block lower, and that will no longer be an air block once it grows down. So there you go. Now the brick fences on top of these sandstone just to stop spawning. And yeah, that's about it. I see you can power your rails with switches, and that again occupies the air block. And that's about it. So go ahead and lay a railway in the nether, and you can get really funky with spawn suppression if you want to. Alright, I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.